Is it fair that Pat McAnally is still the sexiest guy on our team? Is that?
You got me there. You got me good.
Darling, how you gonna be in that video not represent with a chain? Your tango, man. I got mine on. I'm ready to go.
Oh, that's great. That's priceless.
There are two guys that I think it's a travesty that are not in that Hall of Fame.
Ken Riley and Ken Anderson. Yeah, sure.
Let's put the backdrop on, Jamie. See if Marissa's okay with it.
Yeah, I got her backdrop. Starting the Canadian fan club up here for you.
That is so funny.
My last touchdown, and that's what Joe Burrow's going to end up like if they don't start protecting his ass. It's going to be the next David Klingler, David Klingler.
There's no Spanish-speaking people here, very few. So we, fast forward, we go to the Super Bowl in Miami, and the word was the Bengals have two big Mexican offensive linemen. They don't know how to speak Spanish. So I got down there and started doing these interviews in Spanish, and they're like, "Wait, we heard you don't speak Spanish."
What's going on, fellas? What's going on? But I got on the plane one day in an all red Suge Knight suit. And boy, Joe Walters and the linemen, they destroyed me. I thought for sure I was so clean. I had some gaiters on, all red suit on. I was Suge Knight. They roasted me.
The head coach was the pain in the butt. The Jerry Glenn, he thought he was. If you didn't know who he was, he walked out there like he owned his state. And I always say, if I could get a chance to hit him on the sideline, I would.
I'm tackling your ass, Pete. I'm shoestring low on you.
But I got to tell you, you have been stepped on, son. You would have had cleats everywhere.
Well, I'm proud to be a Bengal. Yes, I'm proud to be a Bengal. Always been. I got nothing from you guys.
Welcome, everybody, to the Bounce Back edition of Talking Football with Bengal Jim and Friends. Guys, all of our viewers right now, let's calm down, a slower roll. Quick history lesson here. Tom and I, James, were talking about earlier today. 1981, the Bengals were 5-2. Played an awful Saints team that had 2 wins going into that game. The Bengals lose that game. Come back the following week and win. 1988, 6-0 Bengals play the 2-4 Patriots, an awful Patriots team. We lose 27-21. Both those games the following week, the Bengals win. Both those teams were Super Bowl guys. So good stuff.
So what you're saying is, have no fear. We're good. We'll just get back on track this weekend.
This is the biggest division game in Cincinnati in quite a few years. Tom, what do you think?
It's the biggest game since 2015, and we can right a lot of wrongs. I mean, we've lost 3 games this year. The Bengals have lost 3 games. But the Bengals have lost 3 games. I think very easily could have won all 3. Sunday was maddeningly frustrating, but it's over. We'll do our jobs tonight. We'll be professionals. We'll talk about it a little bit, and then it's over, and we focus on the Browns and getting back on the right track.
And along those lines, I think it's 3 losses by 3 points or less. So, it's not like we've been blown out of any of these games. Yes, it's 3 losses, but a total of 9 points between the 3 games. So, I'm ready to move on. Jimmy, we'll recap kind of what happened in the Big Apple this weekend, and then we'll move on to going 3-0 in the division this Sunday.
Yeah, so let's hit. Actually, we got a quick question here for our radio guys. Just to let you know, we have Bengals team reporter Marisa Contipelli coming on around 8:25, 8:30ish. I'm going to tell you, get your questions ready. She texted me earlier and said she's got a big surprise for all the viewers. Have no idea what it's going to be, but she'll be here in a little bit. And unfortunately, you see Jamie not on the screen here. James and Tom, where's he at? A hockey game? It's the best Canadian. It's the real Canadian excuse, right?
He is winning Canada's version of Father of the Year tonight. Best reason not to be here. He's spending a very special night with his daughter. Got tickets to her first hockey game, and so he's there being super dad, and congratulations for him for that. And when he found out Marissa was going to be on the same night, he had tickets. He threw a royal fit, but he's erring on the right side and being a fantastic dad. So, congrats to Jamie. Have a very big special night, and we'll talk to Marissa.
You know what? I'm not going to count him out this early. I expect him to make a dash up into the lodge area of the
he would
Toronto
not do
arena.
that to his daughter and Aaron, the fiance. Would not happen.
They're not going to know. They're not going to know.
Yeah,
it's going to happen, I bet. I just think he's going to say, I got to go to the bathroom or grab a beer.
Yeah.
And he's going to get his phone. He's going to go live.
He's going to see. Hey, we do have a question for you, Tom. Our buddy Hollis here. Let me pull this up. Attaboy, Tom. Whose jersey this week?
Bill Berge.
Oh.
Berge was a beast.
So Bill Berge, 1970.
Yeah.
So.
All righty.
Well, let's hit a couple things. New York, guys, is one of my favorite cities to visit. We had an absolute blast. Trish and I got there a couple days earlier than the rest of the crew got there. Had a great time, but I'll share some pictures. Everybody wants us to share pictures, but this is a group of us having some beers down on Times Square here. Pretty good group of us getting together. These are our guests from last week. In the middle there, you have Frank, Jet Green Santa, and on the right, you have Tailgate Joe, who was an unbelievable host to us and many, many other Bengal fans. We outnumbered the Jets fans at the tailgate. We'll show you a picture here in a minute, but they were just outstanding. Here's a picture of a small group of us standing in Brooklyn, looking across, in there to Manhattan. Just a beautiful picture there, man. It was a beautiful night.
That backdrop almost looks fake there. Like
it does, man. It was a beautiful night. Beautiful, little chilly, windbreaker weather, which is great for me, and I loved it. And that picture is just amazing. This is a picture of Tailgate Joe. Had us meet him at a family friend's pizzeria right there in Brooklyn, and the most authentic, best New York style pizza you'll ever have. Juliana's, I think, was the name of it. It was an outstanding place. It was good stuff. Had a great time that night. And this is not a great picture. I should have turned it hot dog style, whoever took this picture, right, James? But
yes,
this is just a small group of us that was at the tailgate at that point in time when we took this pic. Guys, there were an unbelievable amount of Bengal fans. There were definitely double the Bengal fans at the tailgate we were at than Jets fans, which is pretty amazing. And Trish and I just happened. This is a true story. We're literally walking down on Times Square, and the Naked Cowboy yells "Hooday" at us. Naked Cowboy, for those that don't know, is from, I think, the Green Hills area. Literally started playing his guitar, singing "Hooday." I actually got a video of that. That was a really fun time seeing the Naked Cowboy. We had just seen him down at the Oktoberfest as well, not that long ago. And then this is where our hotel was, guys, the Millennium Hotel, walking out the lobby there. That's the 9/11 memorial right there in front of us, man. And what a very powerful memorial there. And it just, when you walk through that museum they have there now, nobody says a word. It's just silent respect in that place. But we had a great time in New York, man. It was just a fun time. And obviously the game didn't turn out how we wanted, but it was a great time, guys. So just a beautiful weekend. And I'm glad the 3-game road trip is over, guys, because it's good to be back home.
Get home, get off get the winning streak going, and then we have a bye after this week, a much needed bye, and hopefully we'll be 6-3 going into that. I think the bye's coming at the right time. Halfway through the season, let our guys rest up. Fortunately, in the health department, it's gone good through the first 8. Hopefully that'll continue. And then I'm sure the guys will appreciate the much needed rest following the game on Sunday.
Yeah, one more thing I want to add to that, guys, is in New York, if you were following us on any social media platform, actually I think it was mostly Twitter because I think we were getting some responses. It was kind of the hashtag Where's Kay Adams from Good Morning Football. Guys, it was hilarious. We're having fun with it. It was not creepy, just to let you know. It was just more fun. We were having fun with it. She was sending us messages. They were having fun with it. And she actually responded Sunday and said that, hey, she couldn't get into the details, but evidently there's something going to be happening here in Cincinnati where she's going to be in Cincinnati. So here's to seeing Kay Adams at a tailgate in the very near future, hopefully for a Bengals game that might be flexed. Who knows?
Nice. Tell us about the food. Our guest last week was hyping the food. Tell us about that food there at the tailgate.
Dude, it was good, man. It was so he had a brewery Yingling there that had beers, and then he did some sort of breakfast sandwich. I forget what it was called, but it was delicious. He had some sort of hamburger that I can't even begin to tell you what it was. It was so good. It wasn't just your normal frozen burgers, like he said. He did some other things. They were piping fresh cannolis right there at the tailgate for everybody. It was great. His mom and dad were there. Joe did it up right, man. He has multiple grills going, hot dogs. There was some other stuff. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, yeah, the hot dogs with the sweet onions and his version of chili, like a coney. He did it up right, man. And his focus is the food, that's for sure. And you could tell.
Until they get Geta, they're not doing it all. So
yeah, actually, the breakfast sandwich that he made, he compared it to a Geta. Like, hey, Cincinnati's got a Geta. We've got this. I forget what he called it. Was it grilled Taylor? I don't even know what the hell it was. It was delicious, whatever it was. But Joe did it up right, man. And he was shocked to see all the Bengal fans there. And Tony crushed some cannolis, by the way. I can't say I didn't either, man. I probably had a half a dozen of those damn things.
I'm glad he did. I understand nobody would buy him a beer the whole time in New York. I feel sorry for him.
It's good stuff, man. That was a fun week, man. And it's, we've committed this group that we're with. And I know James has been to many road games over a long period of time. But this group that we're with right now, and we're committed to go to every single game this year, home and away. So, we're through how many games right now? Is it 7? I'm totally losing track.
Yep.
So is it 5?
8?
What are we? 5 and 3? We're 8. We're through 8 games. We have been to every home and every away game so far together as a group. Hey, when you travel with people, man, you test, people because you're spending so much time with each other. Through 8 games, we still love each other and we're still having fun. And it's been a really fun trip so far. I'm really looking forward to the rest of the year with these guys. So it's good stuff.
One thing you mentioned, our buddy Tony and pounding the cannolis. This week is the charity that we've been talking about, and that is the for our troops or veterans. We do have the Tyler Croft jersey if you want to pop that up. Thank you to our friends at Bengal Bids. So that'll be at the tailgate Sunday. I think that finally came in the mail today, Jimmy. Yeah. So as we always do at the tailgate, our man Tony will be handing out the playing deck of cards, ripping them in half. I think $20 donation, you get half. The other half goes to the troop, which is the charity. And about 12:30, we'll raffle that off, and somebody will go home with that authentic Tyler Croft jersey. So if you're going to be down there,
that is a game-worn Tyler Croft jersey. We're obviously focusing on homes for our troops, which we did a little fundraising for earlier this year. There's going to be several veterans there, a lot of Iraq War, Afghanistan War vets that are going to be there. And Tony has a special prize for one of those guys as well. So it's going to be a special day at the tailgate for sure this week. But our focus, we're right now with our charities, we are at call it $29,000. And if we sell that entire deck of cards, that's another $1,000 that goes towards that number you guys have accumulated towards local charities this year. And if that thing goes really well, which I expect a really big crowd, Tony said he has 2 decks of cards. So we may get into do 2 decks and maybe we push over the 1,000 number. But the goal to kick off is going to be that $1,000 for that first deck of card. But that Tyler Croft jersey is legit, man. That's a game-worn jersey, man. That's pretty nice.
And as Brandon said, the ex-Bengal, who is now in the Jets, had that touchdown against us on Sunday. So coming full circle with that. Along those lines, everybody knows we had the 2 giveaways for the Alzheimer's Association. The winner of the tailgate / bourbon pack was claimed. However, the gentleman, Terry Cochran from Moraine, Ohio, has not claimed the autographed item. So I guess we're sending a request out. Perhaps Terry. Have him contact us. We do have that prize pack. We're going to kind of give it another week to find him. And if not, we'll recirculate that back into our charity fundraising. So if you know Terry Cochran, as we did a live on the show, Terry was the winner of that autograph Bengals prize pack. We're going to give him another week to claim that prize. Unfortunately, we don't have an email address or phone number for him. We just have the name and city. So if you know Terry, send him our way, and we have that prize pack for him.
Yep. And guys, and it's funny. First of all, I guess we got to say thank you to our friends at Hoot Nation. We know they're tuning in. We know Jen's going to be there, and I think Jen sent me a message. I think yesterday. I just got to today, but Jen's going to be at the game, the Minnesota game. It looks like. I'm sorry, the Minnesota game, the Kansas City Chiefs game later this year with her husband. So she's going to come down from Hoot Nation and come down and join us at the tailgate with her and her husband. So that's going to be great to finally get to meet her in person, give her a big hug. So it's been cool kind of interacting with her on social media. So looking forward to seeing her. And then I don't know if everybody saw this announcement today, guys, but the Rule of the Jungle this week, guys. Ocho is going to be in town. So I can't promise anybody anything, but there is a possibility Chad makes a sneak appearance, time undetermined, at the tailgate. I can't promise you that, but there is a very real possibility Chad sneaks down and says hi to us before he goes into the stadium, guys.
And another famous person that's going to make an appearance is that. So we'll be doing shots off it. You can take a picture with it. You can plank off it. So, so Sunday, our friend, Mr. Bengal Cart, will be there. So be sure to stop on down and get your picture, get a shot off it, and then we'll have to safely return him back to the bowels of PBS for a press conference on Monday.
If anybody, and it's kind of neat, Box Miller talked a little bit on the Sunday pregame this year about how a stupid insult by Joe Thomas has been turned into, we're doing it, but the Bengals media department has done it, and there's some businesses in town are making shirts, since he shirts is turned it into a positive. And one thing I've been looking at, if anybody has a Joe Thomas jersey for the cart to roll on, please get in touch with us, and we'll get it to you, get it down to the tailgate early. So when the cart rolls in, he can roll right over Joe. And even Joe himself has kind of retracted and softened his stance a little bit on things. I had to laugh this week, but good for the cart for striking back and continuing. The cart had one heck of a week. I don't know if you guys saw, was holding all of Jamar Chase's Rookie of the Week awards.
Yes,
and there's been a lot of them. Month award, and just shows the strength of the cart. I think when the guys go home at night, I think the cart gets the weight room and and definitely bolts up. But so now, if anybody has a Joe Thomas jersey, let us know. It'll be put to good, proper use.
That's good stuff. So
I'm going to go back to Chad real quick here. We alluded he's the ruler of the jungle, but you can see there in his left hand is a cigar. And I have to thank our buddy Brandon. Chad has his own cigars now, 85. Actually, I think I have some over here. In addition to our 16 lots beers, we always have cigars at the tailgate. This is Chad's own brand of cigars, 85. If you like cigars, definitely try those out. They are really, really good. I think they come in a 3-pack. And as of right now, I think the only way you can get them is on the website 85, and it's spelled out 80 and then the word 5 cigars.com. They are good, and stop down and have a Chad cigar with us at the tailgate on Sunday.
There will be obviously Dale Hall from 16 Lots will be down there. We will all be down there. We're expecting a very large crowd yet again for the tailgate Sunday. Big division game against the city up north. We've got a lot of folks from Northern Ohio coming down, joining us. I just want to remind everybody, look, I want to treat any Browns fans at our tailgate the same that we were treated at New York, very respectfully. So let's make sure we take care of them. They're not going to overwhelm us, but there's going to be a group of Browns fans come down to hang out with us. I think Marisa Contipelli's family and her friends are coming down from Cleveland. We want to make sure we're respectful like we normally are, but I know we have a lot of new people this year at the tailgate. And our mission around sportsmanship and taking care of people, whether they're a Bengals fan or not, we want to show them some really good hospitality. The other thing, guys, we are going to be doing Sunday, not only will you get a chance to see the cart, pictures with the cart, there's a possibility Chad may be stopping by. But the other thing that we're going to be doing, too, we're going to hold a protest live, and we're going to hopefully get some media down there. We're going to be protesting all the progressive Baker Mayfield commercials. We've got to stop #stop bad commercials. And I'm tired of seeing it 7 days a week. Every time I turn on the TV, Progressive, we got to stop this stuff. I'm tired of seeing this man on TV. So we're going to be making signs and banners. If you have any signs and banners you want to bring down about the anti-Baker Mayfield Progressive commercials, feel free. We're going to have some fun with the protest around that. Tom, you're going to you got to have to wear something. You're going to wear like a Baker Mayfield big giant head or something. What are you going to do? Anything?
No, I don't want anybody throwing anything at me. I mean, you know, but you know, Baker does get a little exposure, and he doesn't mind a little exposure on TV, and you know, good for him. I'm glad he's making a buck, but you know, enough is enough. The Progressive commercials, his Toyota commercials, I don't mind because they make a lot of them, you know, just south of Cincinnati and Georgetown, Kentucky, where the Bengals used to train. So that's fine, and he's not in all those anyway. But just kind of going back, I'm curious to find out, you guys, Jimmy, you were there. James, you were monitoring it as you were dressing your little ninja for Halloween. What feelings did you get, and what did you guys see that is, you know, sort of, at least for one Sunday, stopped what's had become a very special Bengals team, and I think still will be in Bengals history. But, you know, what did you see Sunday that bothered you, worried you, and needs to be corrected going forward?
I'm not going to go into the X's and O's, but the one thing that stood out to me was Joe Burrow, not Joe Mixon. He just looked mad all game. I don't know what it was. He looked, I don't want to say frustrated. He just had a look on his face that hadn't seen all year. And I think we know how focused he is and how hard he works and, you know, what he brings to the team from a leadership standpoint. And he just looked mad. I don't even know how else to describe it. You know, the whole day on Sunday. It's one of those games where, you know, as we said earlier, let's chalk it up, move on, and learn from the mistakes. And of course, there was plenty of them. But you know, I don't want to dwell on it. But the one thing that really stood out to me was just the kind of the look, and it probably stood out more for those watching on TV. Just kind of the look that Joe Burrow had on his face all game. What about from the in-stadium perspective?
Yeah, I'll kind of add to that, and I'll give you kind of my take on it. But you know, Joe took a hit early in that game, and he kind of got up slow, took a knee. I didn't see that look on his face until after that hit. So I don't know if that was related at all, but after that hit, we was kind of slow getting up. That was kind of when I started seeing, look, he was still focused the whole 9 yards, but you could tell his demeanor changed. He looked ticked. But Josh, you just hit it. My biggest take that I hadn't seen all year, I don't think there was a pass in the air over 20 yards the entire game. So they kept throwing underneath, which is fine if you make the tackles of the plays that are in front of you. Guys, I think I don't know what the numbers were, but I think they missed more tackles in that game than they did all year combined. I mean, that was the game plan, keep everything in front. But, man, it was a lot of missed tackles, guys. That little running back the Jets have was a fire plug. He was tough. He was really good.
Jennifer has –
Go ahead.
You know, Jennifer has a good point here. Some miscommunication. There definitely was some miscommunication. We saw that in the end zone there. I think it was Tyler Boyd and was it CJ there towards the end of the game. So, you know, I don't think we looked past the Jets. I think we knew, you know, what we had in store. I mean, if you look at it, compare it to the Detroit game, you know, on paper it was a game we should have won. That we did go in and win and took them serious. And I don't think it was a question of taking them not serious or looking past it. It was just one of those bad days, and we just move on from it.
Yeah, no excuses. You know, we got beat, and we got beat early. Didn't come out of the gate well. I think there are some guys that we've been counting on defense who just really weren't there. Didn't have their best game on Sunday. That I look to bounce back because I'm sure they were called out after the fact. On offense, a lot of miscommunication, and then, like James said, the CJ and Tyler miscommunication in the end zone where they looked at each other and didn't move an inch, and Joe threw a ball right between them that either one of them would have iced the game.
Yeah.
You know, that not going for three the first time when we had the ball inside the 1 yard line, ended up on 4th and 4, you know, not taking that 3 points that we desperately needed. But there was really no no facet of the game that the Bengals played well. That not offensively, not blocking, not throwing, not running, not tackling, not pressuring enough. Trey Hendrickson still having a tremendous season, but every team has a clunker. Zach Taylor manned up immediately afterwards and said, we got outcoached, we got outplayed, we got out everything. And I would not look for that on Sunday. And this team continues to go in the right direction and take a step forward, and got to right the ship on Sunday.
Yeah, and I think we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the hit, the 15-yard penalty at the end of the game where the Bengals were getting the ball back with like a minute whatever left, and to tie the game or go ahead like 2 minutes. I mean, guys, that was just one of the most horrendous calls I've ever seen. I don't like that it came down to that. We should have never been in that position, like you said, Tom. We didn't take care of our situation early. But when you have not just local media, but you have national media, like people like Peter King did a whole piece on that particular hit. What a travesty that he called it a potential season-changing hit, not game-changing, season-changing hit. And he was talking about that hit specifically, but there were some other things that were going on that were some bad calls in the NFL this past week as well. But you just can't leave that in the officiating's hand. That was just an awful call. I mean, is that something that should be reviewable, right? I mean, that's just a horrendous call that cost us the game at the end of the day. But
it was frustrating. Like you said, it should have never came down to that point. It did. Obviously, out of timeouts, not much we could do then, and move on. There's a question here about can the glaring problem at center be fixed? And that kind of ties into the one thing I want to talk about before Marisa came on, and that's the NFL trade deadline, which came and went at 4:00 today. As expected, unlike other sports, the NFL trade deadline is pretty quiet. Had the big move yesterday with Von Miller, the Broncos, who we will not have to face at the end of the year in December when we go to Denver, being traded to the Rams. Sean McVay just hates draft picks and likes the player. So, it's a different philosophy than what we have here in Cincinnati. But Tom, you expected or surprised at all by the lack of movement? And maybe there was some buzz earlier in the week and last week about maybe getting another edge guy or interior offensive line help, which somebody mentioned. You surprised no movement, no trades were made?
League wide, I was surprised there wasn't more movement. For the Bengals, historically they have not been a team at the deadline to make many moves, so I wasn't surprised. I thought maybe, there were a couple of edge guys out there. When you see, the price of some of them, take a flyer on a sixth rounder that might be able to help you. I really thought that there might be something cooking with New England or even Philadelphia. I know Jason Kelsey had been, mentioned by a lot of people. And yes, he did start at the University of Cincinnati, but, a Super Bowl center, a Pro Bowl center, an all pro guy to come back and help out there. I just saw the question that had popped up. I think the world with Trey Hopkins. He's smart, he's effective, but the interior of the line, it's not working. And Jackson Carman's a rookie. He's been up, he's been down. A lot of reason to be optimistic there. Quentin Spain, till Sunday, was playing at a Pro Bowl pace. Didn't have his best game Sunday. And, Trey, I think Pro Football Focus has him number 31 of the centers. And I think mentally he can do it. He's making all the calls, but he had that horrible knee injury, the last game of the season last year against the Ravens. He's just not playing as we're accustomed to him playing. Yeah. And so I thought maybe they'd be looking at something there with the bye week coming, but we'll win with what we've got, and we'll beat Cleveland. We'll heal up over the bye week and then get after it after that.
Yeah, can you imagine a 6-3 start, guys? Everybody's gonna be happy as hell with a 6-3 start.
Yeah, so I think if you look,
take care of business.
Yeah, if you look back and as we're going through the wins and losses on the show that we did back in July or August, and I think if any of us would have said 6-3 going in the bye, we would have taken that and run. So everything's still in front of us, and we'll move on.
Yep. So real quick, guys, Marisa Contipelli is just in the waiting room right now. So all our viewers, I know you guys are pretty excited to see Marisa again on the show. Make sure you type in any questions. We're going to rely heavily on you. I know there was a lot of stuff you guys wanted to ask of Marisa. So Guys, let's go ahead and bring on Marisa Contipelli. Marisa, how you doing?
Hey guys, doing great. Thanks for having me on again.
No, thanks for being on it. And we just hate that our guy is not here. The president of the Marisa Contipelli fan club is doing his dad duties. I think his kid is at a hockey game up in Toronto right now, Marisa. So,
which that's a completely fair reason. I won't give Jamie too hard of a time, but I'm like, what the heck, Jamie? I'm joining the show. Why are you avoiding me? So it's fine. It's fine.
And I missed the first time you're on. I was on vacation in New York, so this is the first time I'm on with you, Marisa. So welcome.
Thank you. I haven't been on the whole crew yet officially, have I?
Yeah, that's right. Well, that means I told you. Well, maybe there has to be one more time with all of us.
I think there's probably going to have to be, because I think after I show what I'm about to show. So I know, Jim, I had texted you and I said I had something up my sleeves for the fans. It's not going to work out as well as I had thought, but I have a little something that I want to pull up.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I don't have a green screen, so I can't actually hop in front of it. But I really wanted to mess with Jamie tonight, and so I'm starting the Jamie Stevens fan club.
So we got a Marisa Contipelli fan club in Canada. We got a Jamie Stevens fan club here in the States. This is great.
Oh goodness, his head.
Marisa, do you get a card with that? The Jamie Stevens fan? Because you may only have to make one.
We're gonna have to find out. That's so funny. But
that is great. That is great.
Yeah, hopefully next time I'll actually get a green screen or something behind me to make it work, and I can have it up for the whole time. But it's either you get to see me or you get to see the Jamie Stevens fan club posters.
We see enough of Jamie. We'll take you.
That fan club, the fan club membership meetings in a phone booth for Jamie. I'm just saying that they still have phone booths. So Marisa, welcome to the show. So you have this is a tough weekend for you, right? You're working for the Bengals. Your friends and family are coming down for the game from the city up north. So talk about it. What's going on in the family discussions this week? What's the big division game?
Jim, this is not typical at all. I have the Bengal stripes now. I am all in on the Cincinnati team. I might have been born of 71, but I am all in here in Cincinnati. I'm really trying to work on getting my family to wear the right color orange. They're still stuck on the orange and brown combo. My mom has slowly converted, so she loves this Bengals team, and she actually prefers to watch the Bengals over the Browns. But unfortunately, being in Cleveland, they show the Browns games more on CBS. But my family's excited. I have a pretty good group of friends coming down for the weekend and family in town. So it's going to be a good time having them here.
Good stuff. Well, let's talk about, Tom, you want to go ahead and kick off the first question? I know we got a bunch of stuff we want to get to.
Yeah, absolutely. Marisa, you do a fantastic job when you're on the sideline with the teams in the game. One thing we've been talking about, a lot of fans have been talking about, is this group of guys seems different. Now, granted, we've enjoyed fairly good health so far. Knock on wood, that continues. But this seems to be a group of guys that really has each other's back. Mm-hmm. They really want to win. They play hard for Coach Taylor, and there's a good core of leadership, starting with number 9. You interact with them, you report on them. Do you get a sense of that as well?
Tom, I could not agree more with that sentiment. I mean, I've been around the team. This is my 4th season now. I don't think I've seen a group as close as the bond that these guys have in that locker room. And one of my favorite things that we've been able to do this year is to have some fun videos, scattered out about that. We go down there on Fridays, have been taping with the National Tight Ends Day. We did the little guess your teammate in their childhood Halloween costume. And even back in training camp when we had the cutouts, and it was the roast CJ and messing with T. Higgins. And the fact that you can just truly tell these guys enjoy being each other's teammates, but they really seem like they're friends outside of the office, outside of Paul Brown Stadium too. And I think that's translating into what you're seeing on the field. And you mentioned that leadership. I mean, it all starts with Joe Burrow, but I'm even impressed with a lot of the guys who don't have the captain's patch on them. I mean, I know Logan Wilson is only in his 2nd year, but he too just exudes leadership and has the respect of his teammates. And even a guy like CJ Uzama, who I know he's one of the ones we always seem to gravitate towards because he has such a big personality, and it's easy to joke around and mess with him, but he's really a well-respected veteran on this team.
That's cool. So we have we'll pop up some viewer questions here instead of waiting for them at the end here. So Greg Luther, a avid follower of the show here. Marissa, are you surprised the Bengals are 5-3 at this point?
A little surprised, to be quite honest. When I had kind of, before the season started, estimated this team, I thought they could get 9 to 10 wins. I didn't expect them to be 5-3 sitting at this point, and they very well could easily be 6-2, or heck, even 7-1. When you look at the losses to the Packers and the Jets, if you should have won both of those games. But it's been so encouraging to see what we have seen early on from this team. I mean, especially Jamar Chase. We knew this kid was going to be a stud. I didn't expect the production that he was going to provide through the first 7 weeks of the season. That has been something special to watch. And I think this all just goes back into Zach Taylor and the culture he's wanted to establish within this locker room and within this group is absolutely showing out there on the field. And it's showing by this team's ability to score where they need to score, to get stops when they need to get stops. And that's exactly why they're sitting at 5-3.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about the City Up North game here in a little bit, but I want to just visit a little bit, I want to touch on the game this past Sunday, right? Every year, every team, even the teams that make it to the Super Bowl, there's going to be that game that they come out and lay an egg, right? Or they just don't play like they should play. And I think that was our game. It's just that defense, as well as they had played all year, Marissa, they had a lot of missed tackles. They had a couple turnovers, which was great. But there was a lot of missed tackles that game. So I don't know what to contribute that to. But at the end of the day, I mean, Bengals Nation shouldn't be panicked. These guys seem to be ticked off and pretty pissed that they lost the game, but immediately refocused onto the City Up North game, right? I mean, did you get that feel as well? They're ready. They're refocused, ready to go.
Absolutely. And you can almost get that feel immediately after the clock hits 0 against the Jets. It's like, all right, that wasn't a good performance. Move it on to a big AFC North divisional game now. And Jim, Zach Taylor mentioned exactly what you just said, the missed tackling, bad tackling. It's probably as poor of a tackling performance as we have seen since kind of the early stages of 2020, to be quite honest. And it was just very uncharacteristic where the Jets didn't take any deep shots. They were just, killing the Bengals defense with short pass. They weren't able to run the ball at all. And so the adjustments just weren't made. And it was just kind of one of those games where I really think that could be a turning point for how the rest of the season is going to go, where you can't overlook an opponent. Not saying that they went in overlooking them, but just the fact that they didn't make the adjustments that they needed to as the game was progressing. And yet, you said it, you have a mad and angry team after a loss like the one that they just had. I think you're going to get a very, very determined and hungry team going out there on Sunday, because they can't afford to have another loss like the one they just did. You can't go into the bye week losing your last 2 games. So they're going to have to come out and get a win against Cleveland. And I really think when you get towards the later part of the season, you could look back to that Jets game as it was an ugly loss. It was a bad loss, but it could have been a turning point for this team.
Right. I mean, all's well again when you go 6-3 into the bye. So, I mean,
we'll take it.
Hey, so, he made it.
What's going on? All right.
Oh my God, Jamie made it.
Jamie, I have no way we would Jamie.
Hold on, Jamie. Hold on. Go ahead. Hold on.
No, just look. You don't need to hear it. Just look.
Oh, she's like, wait, look, Marissa's got my background. Awesome. Number 1. All right, take
care. See you, buddy.
Okay, hold on. What am I doing? All right. Bye.
Get him out of here.
Oh, that's
all right.
At least he got to see that.
He's gone.
I got to say, if he's going for Father of the Year, Aaron is fiance of the decade.
So, Marissa, I don't know if you heard, we have a special guest at our tailgate this week. I hear your family might be coming. The Bengals cart is going to be there. We're going to be doing shots off it. Is there any words of advice or anything we need to know before we have the Bengal cart?
Well, hold on, Marissa. Before you answer that, Marissa, I mean, also add to that. Has this fame gone to its upper shelf? I mean, what's going on? I mean, he's getting a lot of fame here right now. So talk about this.
Wait, who's getting a lot of fame?
The cart. The cart.
Oh, the cart. The card is fantastic. I mean, I love the fame, and I love that there's now a Twitter account for the cart. So whoever did that, props to you. Keep it going. It's there's a lot of responsibility on the cart now. I mean, it's now Jamar Chase's trophy case, and hopefully he's going to be adding a lot more belts and some more trophies to that as the season goes on. But when it comes to the car for this weekend, please take care of it. Don't let anything terrible happen to the car at the tailgate. I know tailgates can get a little rowdy at times, but just make sure that the cart gets back to Paul Brown Stadium in one piece.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. He said he had some PTO time he was going to take and just come across the street for the tailgate and then go right back. So we interviewed the cart last week or the week before. I can't even remember, but the cart's excited about the tailgate. And I think, what was it? Herm, the AV intern, is going to be pushing him around with shots on him and delivering shots. So we'll be good to go. So everybody will be taking pictures with the cart and everything this week. So it's going to be fun.
I cannot wait to see that on social media.
Yeah, it's going to be. We got some stuff planned there, Marissa. You're going to love it. So we have a lot of questions in here. Do you want to throw a couple of them up now?
Yeah, and we want to remind everybody, go ahead and type your questions. And one question I have for you, Marissa, we know that the NFL season is long and daunting. Certainly a lot goes into the NFL season and the off season, preparing and things like that. We know the players get a game off next week. Do the Bengals staff get a week off to kind of refresh and recoup?
There's really no downtime in the NFL. I know it's the bye week, but we have a lot planned that we're still wanting to achieve as the season is going on. So, for our content team, a big kind of to be determined. I know a lot of us are going to be looking to get recharged over the weekend, but when it comes to the week, I know the players won't be here for the entire duration, Monday through Friday next week. But when it comes to the content team, we need to be cranking out everything that you fans want to see, from graphics, photos, videos. So we're going to be working hard next week, but I assure you we will get rested and recharged for the remainder of the season.
All right, here's a question, and I don't know if you can answer this. It's come up. Obviously, we have the third all-white jerseys. Mm-hmm. Any chance we see a throwback jersey in the future?
That is a great question. Goodness. I know Halloween just passed, but that picture, my goodness. That is something that would be fantastic to see. I don't have an answer. I'm not sure if that is something that is in the works or is even possible, depending on how many years you're kind of looking at when you're talking about the future. But that would be fun. And I know fans would absolutely love to see some of the throwback jerseys, and especially with the Leaping Tiger, those are some of my favorite jerseys from the past. So that would be a great thing if we can make that happen.
Our buddy George has a question here. We all loved the 2 seasons that the Bengals were on Hard Knocks. As we know, that was a behind-the-scenes look at the Bengals and seeing Marvin Lewis at his house. And it's just cool, I think, anytime you can see behind-the-scenes stuff like that. So George asks, is there any behind-the-scene types of videos that we can expect in the future from the Bengals?
Yeah, it's definitely something we've talked heavily about within our content department. I know the last 2 seasons have with the pandemic, it's made things a little bit difficult when it comes to getting some behind the scenes footage. Just because another team has the clearance to do that doesn't necessarily mean we do. Every team the NFL has its protocols, but then every team has their own additional COVID type of protocols and regulations that we have to abide by. So I promise this is definitely something that's on our radar. When we have our meeting tomorrow morning, I will let our bosses know that this is another question that came up from fans, because the behind the scenes stuff is always fun to see. And especially when you get to know the players and coaches, almost on a little bit more of a personal level too, just from what they're doing out there on the field.
And along those lines, you think we see a lot of the pictures when the players get off the plane. I remember, 3 weeks ago, Joe Burrow had some SpongeBob stuff involved as part of his suit. So I think that's all cool. And anytime you can incorporate that into your media effects, please do. Yeah. Go ahead, Jimmy.
I know it's been fun to watch the behind the scenes stuff. The Halloween costume, the kid costumes, and they were trying to guess on the whiteboard who they were. That was some classic stuff. So you guys and the rest of the team down there have just been killing it.
I have to add in on that, Jim. Bengals fans, it's amazing how many people did not realize CJ Uzomah was dressed up as Humpty Dumpty and that they just thought he was an egg. I thought that was hilarious. I know Fred Johnson also only thought he was an egg. I thought that just absolutely made that. So had to throw that in there.
That's pretty good stuff. Tom, I think you had something.
2 things real quick. One, Marissa, it's been noticed by fans and appreciated, the effort being put in by everybody in the front office to notice us, the communication with us, and it does mean a lot. Kind of piggybacking, though, on my first question. We talked about the guys sticking together, playing together so hard. This is probably, and I'm the old man of the group, so I can remember clearly. I can't remember a Bengals team with the right guys on it that everybody wanted to root for and pull for so hard. I mean, the whole city wants to protect Joe Burrow like he's their little brother. But when you go and have to interview and you have to talk to them and you guys do your jobs, are there particular guys, you mentioned CJ, but there are other guys that are very approachable, that have great communication with you, that love to talk and interact?
That's another great question, and something I've kind of said since the start of last season with this Bengals locker room is, honestly, all the guys are approachable. I have not come across a player yet who doesn't want to participate in a special video series or content series that we ask, or an interview. It's been such a great group, and they understand that that's also a part of it, that the fans want to hear from them, that we want to tell their stories, and it's just been a lot of fun. There are guys that we kind of seem to gravitate towards more than others. That's usually going to be your starters, or when you have big fun personalities, which the Bengals certainly have plenty of. But when you have guys that just truly enjoy being in front of the camera, like a CJ Uzama, I mean, I don't think he's ever said no to any type of video, especially when we approached him about the last name a little bit too. That was just phenomenal. But
that was classic.
This locker room, this is a special group. Just from between that, the closeness and the leadership. I mean, I don't know if there's a better group of guys out there in the NFL, to be honest.
That's awesome. So we saw today, I think the announcement, I think it was today, it might've been yesterday. I'm losing track of my days at this point, just getting back from New York yesterday, long weekend, but Chad Johnson ruled the jungle this week.
Yeah, Chad's going to be in the house. It's going to be awesome.
I can't wait for that. I could just see him up there smoking a cigar or something. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. No smoking in PBS, Chad, but I think they'll let you do it. But so let's talk about the game this week, Marissa. Let's start with the team up north here. So give us your take on this team, man. I know they're dealing with a little bit of controversy already this week with OBJ and some other stuff going on, and too many damn commercials of Baker Mayfield on TV. But give us your take on the city up north and what you expect from them this week.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is a team that's, I think, a little desperate for a win, because they had such high expectations going into the year, and where they're sitting right now in the standings. I mean, I think the Bengals do have to be on notice that this is probably going to be a hungry Browns team that's coming in on Sunday, because the fact that they just lost last week to that Pittsburgh team like they did shocked a lot of people too. But you have to be aware of what they're able to do on the ground. I mean, just because Kareem Hunt isn't going to be playing in this game, George Johnson, I mean, he's shown up nicely, and Nick Chubb is a really talented running back. So it would not surprise me if they do try to lean on that ground game a little bit more. But that's exactly why the Bengals prioritized improving this defense this last season. They were not good enough in defending the run, and that's why they brought in Larry Ogunjobi, Trey Hendrickson. It has made a world of difference. It's been one of my favorite improvements that I've seen so far, because this defensive line, it's night and day from what we saw out there in 2020. And when you have teams like the Browns and the Ravens who are physical, they want to run the football, you got to be able to stop the run first and foremost. So that's going to be a really intriguing matchup on Sunday. Is going to be our defensive line going up against the Browns offensive line, and what they want to do in the run game. And honestly, I mean, I'm not a doctor. I don't know the severity of Baker Mayfield's injury, but I was a little surprised they didn't hold out Baker last week to give him an extra week of rest before playing the Bengals. So, I'm really intrigued to see just what his health is going to be, and if there could be any lingering effects from any of the hits that he ended up taking against Pittsburgh.
Yeah. So, we were just talking about this earlier. This is the biggest division game that the Bengals and the city up north have been in together. And I'll be honest, I can't remember how long these two teams playing a game this meaningful at this point in the season, halfway through the season almost. This is as big as it's going to get. I know the game is very, very close to being sold out if it's not already. I know there's a few tickets left, and I just encourage everybody, don't go to the secondary markets. Call the Bengals directly. There's no fees. If there's any tickets left, get them from the Bengals directly by calling them. But it is going to be wild down there, Marissa. I don't know if I know you haven't been around as long as Tom and I, but this is probably the biggest Bengals City Up North game in more than a decade, maybe more than that.
Maybe since Bernie versus Boomer.
Yeah.
Wow. And that's what we want though, right? That's what we want the Battle of Ohio to be. It's this great in-state rivalry. So I'm excited. I know these are always my favorite games on the schedule, not only the AFC North games, but when you do have Browns versus Bengals, just because of the history within the two organizations. And then just given my history being from Cleveland, but I'm excited for it. I mean, I was absolutely floored when I saw how packed the Jungle was for our Thursday night game, and then just how many people were in the stands against Green Bay. I love seeing the Jungle like that. And from what I'm hearing, Jim, is there's a couple hundred tickets left. That's what it was earlier this afternoon when I was in the office. So I don't know where it is now, but let's sell this place out. I mean, you got to be loud. You got to be that 12th man, that difference maker for the team on Sunday. And I'm glad that the rivalry is starting to get a little bit, kind of back on track to kind of like the olden days, Bernie versus Boomer. Now you got Baker versus Burrow. I mean, this is what you want to see.
I don't know if it's a rival. We won the last 13 out of 16 home games here in Cincinnati. The Bengals have won. Okay, so let's just keep it going. Bengals.
I consider every AFC North game a rivalry game. Let's be honest.
Exactly.
So
let me ask you. I remember hearing all the stories back in the day of Paul Brown would have meetings with the whole team about how important this rivalry was to him, and anybody who follows us on social media gets a little taste of Bengals history every day, right? But Paul Brown, the Brown family, this rivalry goes back before the 1968 season when they went into the AFL. I remember Paul always having. I mean, we had Lamar Parrish on and Eddie Edwards, and these guys would say, "Hey, Paul used to tell her, hey, if we're going to win 2 games this year, it's going to be against that city up north, right?" So, what is the message? Does Mike Brown talk to everybody in the front office down there and all the employees talking about how important this rivalry is to the family and the history? Is that being done within the organization a little bit?
I think it's almost an unwritten, everyone knows at this point, if you're working for the organization, if you're playing for the organization, you know what the Browns Bengals history is. You know what this rivalry is. I know the coaching staff has made it known to newcomers to the team, and it doesn't need to be said. It probably is said. That would not surprise me one bit, but everyone knows what this week is. As soon as Sunday's game hit zeros on the scoreboard, we were on to the next one. And you have to win your divisional games. And the fact that they've already done that with the Steelers and have done that with the Ravens, they have a great opportunity to do that with the Browns. And it absolutely means a little bit more just given the history. And I mean, it doesn't need to be said, Jim, but this team is well aware.
I figured.
Another thing, it's going to be 62 and sunny. I just double checked the weather. So if you're even on the edge of coming down, 62 degrees, Chamber of Commerce weather for the game on Sunday. So no excuses.
Beautiful. Perfect football conditions.
Perfect.
Guys, I think there's a lot of other questions in here.
Yeah, there's one here from Dalton, and Dalton is a kind of our resident artist here who does unbelievable work. And he asks, how about a spotlight on the creative crew? We mentioned the fact that the players are with COVID rules. Sometimes it's hard to go behind the scenes with them. So he would like to see a spotlight on the creative crew that produces all that cool content.
Well, Dalton Signature, appreciate that sentiment. I know all of us are big fans, and we see your work when you post it on social media. So keep up the great work too. Always love whenever other artists get involved with Bengals creative. It makes the world go around a little bit. It's more enjoyable. I mean, we want to see all the Bengals stripes, the tiger. We want to see orange and black take over social media. So absolutely love it. But I think that's a fantastic idea. We have a great content department. We've grown over the last couple of seasons and have been able to do a little bit more. So I will definitely take that to the team and make sure to tell them that you were the one that suggested it. So I definitely appreciate that.
Hey, Marissa, it's funny. I think everybody that's on social media in any way, shape, or form knows who Dalton is. James and I, when we were in Seattle a few years ago for, I think it was opening day, we met up with Dalton and a bunch of other Bengal fans. As nice and genuine he comes off on social media, he's exactly the same way in person. He's a really good guy. Really good guy.
Hopefully Dalton will get a chance to cross paths soon and actually meet in person.
Yep. There's a question here, and I think I might ask, but go ahead and answer that question. There's still no fees on tickets if purchased through the Bengals, correct?
I believe so. For single game, I believe so.
That is-
I apologize. I don't know that definitely right now, but I will find out and relay that info to Jim afterwards.
I'm pretty sure that answer is 100%. If you call the Bengals front office, there are no fees. If you go to Ticketmaster, you go to a secondary market, absolutely. So it's trying to get people in condition to call the Bengals versus immediately just going to the secondary market. We got to retrain people to refocus on that. But I knew there was a couple other ones here. Some of these things.
Here's one for that Hollis put in. I don't think Marissa's going to be able to answer this, but another artist that watches the show. I guess we got a lot of artists that watch the show. Does PBS need a painting of Paul Brown in it? Asking for a friend.
I think we do. I would love to see that. I can't make that. I can't really answer that, but I personally would absolutely love it. So
you know what it would look good right now, Marissa? It would that I know the picture that Hollis is talking about. It's a beautiful. It would look good right behind you right now. It's a beautiful piece of Paul Brown and Warren McVeigh from I want to say 68.
The one behind Tom. I don't know why I'm pointing like that's behind me, but
yeah, that's it. Tom, the one right behind Tom. Yeah.
Oh, that's I've seen that before. So I think, gosh, that is a fantastic piece of art. That would be wonderful.
I will piggybacking on that, Marissa. There's one thing. Years ago, I was at Clemson for a football game. In fact, they were playing Syracuse, and on their Ring of Honor is their legendary football coach Frank Howard. And I noticed for the Bengals Ring of Honor, after Paul Brown did not have a number, but at Clemson, next to Frank Howard's name, they had a fedora. Is there any way the Bengals would pay to have a fedora put next to Paul Brown's name?
It's a cool idea.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible! They really had a fedora on their
right next to his name. Yeah, on the.
I'm going to make sure to tell Elizabeth Blackburn that tomorrow too. I should have been taking notes during this. I have a lot of things tomorrow morning.
That's not what this is. That's not what this is about, Marissa. Sorry, you came on and now you're working. Jeez.
Here's the shameless plug. In case you missed any episodes, Marissa, you can go back to YouTube at Bengal Jim's channel and watch any past shows, including this one.
Love it.
So, Marissa, look, we really appreciate your time. And people have to understand that Marissa is almost working 7 days a week. Her taking 20 minutes to half an hour with us is very meaningful to us. And we really appreciate it, Marissa. We know that you're going out of your way to be here with us. And it means a lot to everybody that's watching right now. Everybody loves you. You do an outstanding job on this. And tell your friends and family, even if they're wearing the team up north, colors, it is okay to join us for the tailgate. Yeah. We will be very respectful. We will take care of all fans no matter what, and especially Marisa Contipelli's friends and family. Tell them they're more than welcome, and we'll take care of them. We'll feed them and give them drinks. So
they can have a shot off the Bengal card.
I'm going to have to give them the backstory of the card because I don't think they know what the Bengals card is right now.
What's this thing doing here? Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jim. That really means the world to me. And I love getting a chance to join you guys. Any opportunity to connect with the fans, I'm all in for. And I hope to join you guys again this season. And I can't wait to hear the stories about when my friends and family get a chance to meet you on Sunday.
Great. Well, we appreciate it. Thanks again. And here's to a big W this Sunday going into the bye week.
Absolutely. Let's go get it.
Hoo-day. We'll see you, Marissa.
Hoo-day.
Thank
you.
Marissa. Thank you.
Bye.
All righty.
Good as usual, man. She's fun to talk to and very insightful. And we drilled her with a bunch of stuff to go back to. She's going to have to go back and watch. There's like 10 to-dos for her now off this.
Yeah.
I do feel bad about that. I am relieved James bought those hockey tickets for Jamie. And we were able to have a stalk-free zone for her while she was here. But
you know what? I bet you she has exact plans for the bye week, but she didn't want to tell us because she didn't want Jamie showing up.
Yeah.
So good for her. Well, she's safe. Jamie will stay in Canada, and Marissa can enjoy her peaceful bye week.
So Marissa comes on to have fun with us tonight. She literally has some to-dos from everybody. So we put her to work, not on purpose, but it's guys, I'm really looking forward to this Sunday. It's going to be a big, big day in Cincinnati. And guys, Tom, I mean, you and I have been around since I don't know how long, but this is the biggest Browns-Bengals game I can remember, and for this literally maybe since the 80s.
It means so much for both teams. The Browns are desperate. I mean, I think this is the fourth year in a row they've won the Super Bowl in the offseason, and the expectations are off the chart. They didn't expect to be 4-4, and if they go 4-5, the playoffs become very, very difficult.
Yep.
The Bengals just lost a excruciating, frustrating game that I know they're still kicking themselves about. Hopefully they're channeling that anger to take it out on the Browns. One thing for everybody to watch, I think the key matchup on Sunday to determine whether or not the Bengals win, can our offensive line keep their defensive line off of Joe Burrow so Joe can do his thing? And I think he'll take us to a victory. So, it's going to be, again, on those big five guys up front and the tight ends, keeping Joe safe, healthy, and giving him time to throw.
Yeah. And guys, I got to just reiterate the importance of this rivalry. We have some stuff on our YouTube channel that Tom and I have done last year about this rivalry. It's about a 20-minute video of us talking about the history around this rivalry. Guys, there's really no more rivalries in the NFL that have deeper backstories than these two teams and the history around these guys. How big this game is to the Brown family. The last game at Riverfront Stadium, the Brown family went to the NFL and wanted to schedule the Cleveland Browns for the last game at Riverfront Stadium. They also did that for the very first game at Paul Brown Stadium. There's so much history around this. I mean, we could take episode after episode to talk about it, but I would challenge you. I'll probably try to post it again. That 20-minute clip I went back and watched from last year, there was some very insightful stuff in there from Tom and I with the history of this franchise.
This rivalry starts 6 years before the Bengals were created.
Exactly.
So, and now for this new generation, though, it's purely about getting to the playoffs and beating a divisional rival. And, nobody ever mentions it, but I'll always remember after Baker Mayfield's rookie year, he was on a Super Bowl special that year. He was getting interviewed by Cooper Manning, and he talked about how he owned a couple of Bengals, at least twice a year. I've never forgot that. I wish somebody could find that and play it for the guys because they're going to have to get after him Sunday. But even more important than getting after him is protecting our own quarterback.
Yep. I tell you, I'm going to ask everybody. We don't want it to be 3 or 4 minutes into the first quarter, and there's still people coming in the stadium and going up the escalator. Guys, we need to get in there, get in a little earlier than you normally would. This may be a record crowd Sunday with the weather. You heard Marisa say there was only a couple hundred tickets left. Those are probably just singles and some seats all over. Guys, they feed off our energy and feed off the fans. Let's get in there a little bit earlier than we normally would, and let's just turn this place up Sunday. Let's do it.
We have to give them the ultimate home field advantage Sunday, and that's on us, not them.
Yep. So, guys, let's go ahead and close this out. Tom, you want to go ahead and start it off, kick it off? Then we'll go to James.
Yeah. Again, a big thanks to James for getting Jamie those hockey tickets tonight, for he and his daughter and Aaron to get to the game. I know it made Marisa a lot more comfortable, and we didn't feel nearly as awkward. But as frustrating as Sunday was, I think this coming Sunday is going to be that much more fun. So just same message. Keep Joe Burrow upright. Let him do his thing, and he'll get us there. We've got the better quarterback. We've got the better team Sunday, and we're at home. And as fans, let's do our part to bring a victory in.
Yeah.
Last week has passed us. Let's move on. 3-0 with a chance to be perfect in the AFC North. Let's do it. I'd be remiss not to mention the Bengal Gym fantasy football standings. So I'm going to bring this up. We had two big happenings this week. The slump buster worked for Jimmy, and I'm going to pop up the Paul Brown division standings. You can see at the very bottom there, at the 0% chance of making the playoffs, Bengal Jim now has one win. So congratulations. And not only is it one win, you beat Jamie's team, and we'll go across the other side in the Anthony Munoz division. There's now a second blemish on Jamie's record. And that second blemish belongs to none other than our boy Bengal Jim. So congratulations on that. And also our boy AJ in Rochester took his first loss. So now he has gone from
Who beat AJ?
Watch the comments. I'm sure he'll type them in. So, and he didn't want us to bring this up, but good friends that we are, we'll bring it up. He is still leading, but now has the one blemish on his resume. Brandon in second place, you can see over here, has now changed his name. He's now Fat Randy's big brother. So we had a name change going in the middle of the year. We might have just a symbol by the end of the year. Who knows with Brandon what he's going to do. So Brandon remains in second. Somehow I'm atop, and AJ's across the other side. But always fun. And remember, $750, close to $1,000 going to Icky Wood's son's charity for that. So it's been a lot of fun talking trash and getting a chance to play fantasy football against each other. A big tailgate Sunday. 62 degrees, middle of November. I mean, perfect weather for a football game. Come on down to the tailgate. Get your picture taken with the Bengal cart. Have some 16 lots beer. And there was one comment on the scroll throughout the show, and it was asking about the food. We're finalizing the food, but we know we have a diverse group of fans in Houday Nation and those that attend the tailgate. So perhaps you work for a restaurant, you own a restaurant, you want to have your food featured at Bengal Gyms, let us know. Send us a message. There's a whole lot of games left for the second half of the year, and we'd love to highlight some other food vendors, restaurants, and people for upcoming tailgate. So with that, look forward to seeing everybody again Sunday down at PBS. Jimmy?
And James, we got a new sound system this week, right?
Yeah, we got a little bass. We are stepping up the program. We're going to have some bass.
We're stepping it up.
Yes.
It's gonna be like a club, man. It's gonna be good. So the other thing too, the tailgates again. We're going to be focusing on homes for our troops. We've got some vets coming down, joining us at the tailgate that we got tickets for. Tony the Tiger will be selling those cards again, those deck of cards, trying to raise money for that homes for our troops. We've got not signed, but a game-worn Tyler Croft jersey, orange. It's beautiful. It's game-worn. It just came in the mail today. It is awesome. Courtesy of our friends at Bengal Bids. They'll sporadically do that for us throughout the year. And guys, it is going to be a big crowd down at the tailgate yet again. So we're looking forward to seeing everybody. Make sure you drop a pin if you're from out of town. We'll have the pins ready to go for you on the board. And guys, I'm really looking forward to this Sunday. I mean, I cannot remember the last time I've been to a Bengal City up north game that meant this much. And something tells me deep down that the Bengals will come out and do their thing this weekend, guys, and get this dub. So they seem really focused this week. They're saying and doing all the right things. It's only Tuesday, but I'm pretty damn excited about this weekend, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. It means a lot. Thanks again, Marisa Contipelli. We love you. Thanks for being with us. But we'll see everybody next Tuesday as we talk about 6-3 going into the bye week Cincinnati Bengals. See you guys. Houday.